Hi guys, welcome to another video. Hope you're all keeping well. Now for this video I'd like to review a Blu-ray that I watched just the other night. It's from 1990 and it stars Cheryl Ladd and Stacey Keenan, and it was directed by Gary Sherman, and the movie is called simply Lisa. So there you go, guys. Yeah. Okay, then. Before, as per usual, before I say anything further, about in regards to what I thought of the movie, I'll just give you a little bit of background. Unfortunately, I can't read the back of this because it's in a foreign language. But there's a couple of stills, guys. Anyway, from the movies, there's Cheryl Ladd playing the mother, and the girl Lisa, the titular character. Yeah. So there you go. Yeah. Okay then, guys. Yeah. So basically, the story's about this young teenage girl called Lisa, who becomes utterly love struck with virtually every boy what she sees or basically hears about, and she makes these phone calls and that, accompanied by a mate, these giggly phone calls and that, but he's tending to be an adult and that, and one day she accidentally bumps into this guy on the street, and she instantly develops a crush on him, but she doesn't know he is the notorious candlelight killer who's been going round slaughtering women in their own homes, leaping at them from the dark and that, and throttling them to death. She doesn't know this at all, yeah. So that's basically the story, guys, in a nutshell, yeah. Okay then, guys. So on to my thoughts now, guys, on Lisa. Yeah. I enjoyed it, yeah. It was a good American psychological thriller, and stellar performances by Cheryl Ladd from Charlie's Angels, and the girl who played Lisa, Stacey Keenan. Yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's not. Don't go into it thinking you're going to get a blood and guts horror story. You won't. It's more of a psychological Hitchcockian type of movie. Yeah. So you've got this guy he's the candlelight killer, and as I say, Lisa, she doesn't know. She falls in love with him and that. She doesn't know his dark background. Yeah. Solid performances all around, as I say, by Cheryl Ladd, and that plays the overprotective mother. She takes a very dim view of her daughter's sort of like a rebellious traits. Well, if you watch these movies, guys, with young American teenage girls, how rebellious they can be, and she doesn't want Lisa going with boys until she's 16. She's under 16 at the moment. So I enjoyed the chemistry between Cheryl Ladd and Stacey Keenan in this movie. They played the parts well. The mother and the daughter, and they have a lot of arguments in this and that, guys, sometimes very heated arguments, yeah. At one stage, Lisa, she's sort of when her mother's at it all the time about lads and that, Lisa brings up something from her mother's past, something quite dark, which I won't reveal, so basically she throws that into her face and that, what about the time when you and all that? But as I say, I won't reveal that dark aspect of the mother's past. I'll let you see the movie for yourself. But yeah, you've got a case of the kettle calling the pot black here, I suppose, yeah. But nice picture quality as well, very nice Blu-ray. As I say, there's a lot of teenage angst in this movie, guys, in regard to the titular character, Lisa. Absolutely mad on guys and that, and she behaves very recklessly, accompanied by her mates, making these phone calls to strange men who she knows nothing about, so she's throwing herself wide open, to danger, really, because among those men could be this candlelight killer, so, she's acting pretty recklessly and foolishly in this movie, as you often see in these kind of movies, these kind of psychological dramas, the girl, the teenage boy or the teenage girl act very, very foolishly in that, when they're sort of love struck over somebody, and it doesn't sort of go on a very good path, once they encounter the killer or the rapist or whatever, so it's that kind of movie. It's kind of like those Lifetime movies, what they churn out a lot in America, real psychological thrillers and that. My only real gripe about the movie, guys, is that they reveal the killer too soon, much too soon at the beginning of the movie. They should have treated it like a Hitchcock film, gradually built the suspense up and over the movie and that, building to a grand climax. They showed the killer, too soon, and after that, you just think to yourself, well, who's he going to kill now? Because who he is and that, and I like the killer's identity to be a mystery, But having said that, it's a very good, enjoyable thriller. I'm not taking anything away from the movie. I would watch it again at some point and that. And I love Cheryl Ladd, fantastic. I used to love her in Charlie's Angels and that, very, very beautiful actress and that, highly talented actress, and she's very good at playing these kind of roles now. these mother roles, you know. But oh yeah, a lot of arguing between the mother and the daughter and that, you know, and this guy in the background, this candlelight killer, you know, you don't know when he's going to strike next, because the movie starts off with quite a bang, because like you get like a girl in her apartment and that, you know, and he's basically got this sort of like evil strategy of ringing them up and saying, I am in your apartment and I'm going to kill you. And of course, sometimes the women think it's a joke and that, you know, as is the case in this movie and that, you know, Cheryl Ladd gets a call and she thinks it's her daughter playing tricks and that, or, you know, on her and that. But yeah, it turns out he's actually in the apartment, and he basically just lunges out of the shadows and he throttles the women to death. So that's how menacing and a brutal killer he is, this candlelight killer. You know, so if you like those kind of movies with like serial killers and that, you know, lurking around and that, you know, ready to pounce, I think you will derive a lot of enjoyment from Lisa. You know, yeah. So not as I say, I've got no real complaints about this movie, guys, other than that just small one that they showed the killer too soon. They should have really kept his identity secret, yeah. So there you go, yeah. But you know, Lisa's flirtatious behaviour, as I say, it was laying herself wide open that, you know, at somewhere along the way she would encounter either a psychopathic killer or a rapist and that. And of course, this is exactly what happens in this movie and that, you know. So it's kind of a poetic justice, if you like, you know, that she sort of like throws herself open to any idiots out there, any psycho out there, and that, you know, being blinded by, you know, love and that, letting love, you know, override their emotions and that, you know, getting crushes on boys and that, and basically man mad, really, you know, which is always a bad idea in these kind of movies, yeah. I'd say her best friend is just as bad as well, because she's in on the game and that, you know, ringing lads up and giggling and that, you know, and pretending to be adults and that, yeah. So it's, yeah, very, very foolish behaviour, yeah. Yeah, so I suppose you could describe the killer in this as a kind of like a comic book villain, you know, it's a typical sort of like archetype of the kind of like killers you see in these kind of movies and that, you know. Yeah, it's got no mercy. It's all about like slaughtering women and that, you know, strangling them to death and that, you know, and it uses his good looks to sort of charm them, sort of like win them over, and then he strikes without warning, yeah. So that's the type of a character he is, yeah, yeah. All right then, guys, on to my rating now for Lisa. I'm going to give this movie, I think I'll give it 8 out of 10. It just lost 1 or 2 points, but as I say, revealing the killer too soon and that, you know. And there was a couple of moments also, 1 or 2 scenes, for example, in a restaurant where Cheryl Ladd and her daughter, there's long sort of like chatty scenes and that, which I think could have been cut down a bit and that. In a lot of sort of like arguments going on between Cheryl Ladd and her daughter and that, you know, so I think they could have been shortened a bit. Yeah, but having said that, you know, I'm keeping it in my collection and I'm going to watch Lisa again because I did enjoy it and that, you know. But as I say, don't go into expecting a blood and gore, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre kind of Ted Bundy kind of movie, because you won't get that. But you will get a very, very good psychological thriller, you know. But as I say, great performances all around. You have the cast of Grace and that, you know, particularly Cheryl Ladd, you know, absolutely love Cheryl Ladd, you know, especially as I say, she was my favourite Charlie's Angels and that, very, very talented actress, yeah. Okay then, guys, that concludes my review of the 1990 American psychological thriller Lisa. Have you seen Lisa? What did you think of it? Leave your comments down below. You know, I'd be very interested to hear what you thought of Lisa. Yeah, but yeah, I'm keeping it in my collection. I did enjoy it, and as I say, I will be watching it again at some point in that. Yeah, so yeah. All right then, guys. Usually, if you like the video, please feel free to share, subscribe, comment, and all going well. I'll be back again very, very soon with another video. Enjoy the coming weekend. Bye for now.